Okay, so what I want to do next is walk you through a couple examples of how you can use a virtual assistant to do things that even though you could do them yourself, they're going to be much more effective if you have somebody else do them for you. The first is social media, right? Optimizing our social media is key, right? You want to make sure that you're posting things at a regular basis, consistently. You want to make sure that you're providing good content. And a lot of times we try to do that ourselves, but we're very inconsistent at it. We just don't have the schedules or the lifestyles that allow us that every day at 11 o'clock or 2 o'clock or 4 o'clock or whatever our optimal posting time is to post things. Now, there are ways to auto post on certain platforms, but even then you have to figure out what to post when. And you want to be consistent. You want to build a voice for your business. You want to make sure that you're doing things that have a calendar so people start learning what to expect from you at certain times on certain days. So your clients know that every Tuesday you're going to talk about technology. Every Thursday you're going to do a throwback to something you've done previously in your business. Every Friday you're going to have a funny meme. Every Monday you're going to have an event schedule talking about upcoming events. You do these things where you consistently publish things and share things in social media, you're going to have a bigger following. Now, most of us, like I said, can't do that ourselves, right? This is where we have to get a virtual assistant. A great example is LinkedIn, right? LinkedIn has a lot of people on it all the time, but you want to kind of micro-target who you're interacting with. If you just post something on LinkedIn and you have 10,000 connections, you're going to be lucky if a few see it, right? But if you take that knowledge that you want to share, that video you've created, that blog post that you've written, and you figure out who is your target, and you've identified 100 people that you think could benefit from seeing that, and you have your VA actually identify them, not you yourself. You have your VA go out and find 100 people that fit a certain profile, that fit that profile that you want to target, and you have the VA as you go and send them a message and give them a link and engage with them and personalize each one. You can have your VA manage your LinkedIn profile so that you're looking like you're always on LinkedIn, but you never actually are. I only go on LinkedIn a few days a week. Most of the time it's my VA using my LinkedIn profile. I only reply to emails or messages that I need to, and my VA alerts me when I should. She'll tell me when I have something I need to reply to right away, and I'll take the time to do that. Otherwise, she's the one posting content and even doing basic engagement. So affecting my LinkedIn profile is super active. I have an all-star profile of almost 20,000 connections, and they're all active connections that I'm engaging with on a regular basis. But I would never have the time to do that, and that's why I have her do that. Another area where you really can focus in a VA on is digital marketing, right? Email campaigns, updating your CRM, sending a newsletter, right? We should all be sending a newsletter every month to an email list. It can be a video newsletter we can share as well, but creating content for a newsletter, updating the CRM to give that newsletter to the most recent group of people that we've interacted with, making sure that the newsletter is somewhat personalized for different audiences. That's all things that are valuable, but again, we shouldn't be doing it ourselves. A virtual assistant can be a wonderful resource to help you have a really amazing newsletter that gets really good conversion. And you can have a VA track that, right? Track the conversion. If you're using MailChimp or some other email campaign software, you're going to see how many clicks you got and what links they took and how long they spent looking at the newsletter, basically. These are very valuable things to figure out what to do more of and to learn from it. And again, something we should probably be able to do if we had all the time in the world, but we don't. So we have to figure out how to delegate things. Another area where we really can figure out how to have a VA help is in doing things that are creative design work, right? There's a wonderful amount of information out there that can be turned into really cool videos. We have tons of images we've created. We've taken pictures and created videos. We probably have blog posts, or we've even written a book. All this stuff can be repurposed and repackaged. It can be turned into videos. We can do things that are catchy and fun, right? One of the hottest things on the planet right now is TikTok, right? And for most people that are my age, and I'm 50, even if you're over 30, you probably are not on TikTok. But if you're under 30, you know all about TikTok, right? It's recording quick videos, like really short, videos, less than a minute long. And they're fun and they go viral really quickly. If we could tap into that for our market, think about how awesome that would be. But do I encourage you or even myself to go out and learn how to really be a TikTok star? No. Have a VA do that. This is an area where you can definitely leverage the advantage of a workforce who's probably younger than you and probably has more savviness when it comes to the social media things that are hot, what's kind of trending right now. Take advantage of that. have a VA manage things like TikTok for you. Another thing is to figure out how to get yourself booked, right? Never book yourself. If you're a public speaker, if you want to be a guest on podcasts, if you are an author and you've written a book, if you have a bunch of content you want to share, you should have somebody else representing you as like your agent or your secretary or whatever you want to call it. And they're the ones that should be trying to get you booked on podcasts and at conferences and get your book into bookstores, because it's so much more powerful and professional when somebody's saying, introducing themselves as saying, I represent, Dan Meyer, and Dan Meyer wrote a book about analytics, and we'd love to have the book at your bookstore to do a book signing. He's also a speaker, and he could speak at this event. He's also able to do a guest on a podcast, and these are the things that he can do. And somebody else is saying it, not me, myself, right? Super important. If you promote yourself, people don't listen. But if somebody's promoting you, then hey, maybe that's important. Maybe I should listen to it, right? So self-promotion only goes so far, but having somebody who is your promoter, is your agent, goes a lot further. Having a VA do that, having them look for conferences, having them look for places for you to speak and share your knowledge, having them look for places where your product could be placed. These are great uses of a VA that frees you up from having to do nothing but to show up, right? All the logistics, all the research, all the arrangements should be done by somebody else so that you're able to, again, focus on what you do best, which is talking about the business, growing the business as far as being the face or the mover and shaker in your business, and let somebody else handle all the administrative stuff. Big, important lesson. Another area where you should probably focus a VA on is doing things like data entry and basic administrative support, right? You should never, ever have to input a business card contact information into a CRM ever again. I get a bunch of business cards, click, take a photo, send them to my VA, and my VA uploads all the information, right? And then maybe I make a note here or there, who I met, when, why. And some people say they have to be able to write down on every business card who they met and when, or they'll forget. Well, you can still do that and still have a VA put that in the CRM. The last thing you want to be able to be doing with your time is sitting there typing in information into a CRM. That's something that somebody else can do. And then when you have follow-up, if you have customer service things, emails, questions you want to follow up on, have the VA take a stab at doing some of those, right? I don't manage my inbox. My VA manages my inbox, right? I only, again, look at things that are flagged for me to look at. And all the spam is deleted without me having to look at it. All the information that's kind of useless can get put away in one area, things I should refer to in the future. And then she can even reply to certain things that are important that, like, I get invited to speak at a conference. She takes the lead on that. She notifies me that I have a conference potential on a certain date, checks my calendar, but I let her run with it, right? When you develop a really good relationship with your virtual assistant, when they become your right arm, then you're able to have them do these things for you. And to be effective in your business, you have to have that. I've been blessed with the fact that I've had some great assistants. And a couple of my assistants have gone on to become even successful entrepreneurs themselves. I've had one assistant who was one of my assistants. She now runs her own multi-million-dollar catering business. This is pretty amazing, right? This is what you want to be able to do. You want to find people that have a passion, have a hunger. You train them, you mentor them as an assistant. They can become something more powerful. They can help you grow your business. I have employees that have been with me for 6-7 years now. They started with me junior and they moved up to be senior. They are team leads. They are managers within my business because I've taught them how to use virtual tools and unleashed in them their potential so they're able to do what I do within my business. These are kind of things that you can do if you have good virtual staff, which I can help you find. So, last thing I want to do, a quick exercise. I want you to take out a piece of paper and I want you to write down on a piece of paper 3 columns, right? On the column on the left side, I want you to put in the header what you want to do. What are the things in your business that you wish you had more time to do? And just bullet point them out. Just 4 or 5 things that you think are things that you wish you had time to do more of, that you want to do to grow your business, that you know would make you more successful, but you just don't do right now. And then in the middle column, write a header, what you actually do. What are you currently doing right now every day in your business? And write down how much time it takes you. How much time are you spending on social media, on replying to emails, on sending out marketing pieces, on designing your own images, on making videos? How much time are you doing that right now? Then, of course, on the column on the far right, on the third column, what your VA will do for you, right? What is your VA going to be able to do for you? That's what you want to take the things that you wish you could do and move them to what you're doing by moving what you're doing over to what the VA will do, right? Anything that's repetitive, time consuming, that doesn't require a whole lot of mind share that's not coming directly from you, that anybody with half a brain can do, outsource that. That's what you want to be able to do. That's what you want to give your VA. So if you have those things that you can move to the right, you're going to be much more successful. The last thing that I'm going to mention here is I do have a coaching system that I also use based on my experience setting up virtual teams and how I've been able to hire Rockstar VAs that have not only helped me grow my business, but help all my clients grow their businesses as well, right? So you want to talk about the systems that you need. And I'll share with you my experience with creating systems. I'll talk to you about what to do before you hire a VA. I'll walk you through what you do once you've hired the VA, the onboarding process. I'll talk to you about how to make sure your VA masters the horizontal before they go vertical, right? You want them to get really, really good at one thing before you try to get them to be good at 10 things. You'll always fail if you overwhelm a VA with 10 things at once. Give them one thing to start with to get good at and add on bit by bit. Communication is super important. So I'll talk to you about communication. Then I'll also talk to you about the importance of establishing and maintaining good reporting, making sure that you know what your VA is doing and you're having check-ins and you're communicating back and forth to make sure that they're doing exactly what you want them to be doing. I'll talk to you about how to do this in a coaching series. And if you're interested in learning a lot more about the coaching series and about the opportunities that I have to work with you to hire a great VA, you can text DATA, that's the word DATA, D-A-T-A, to 26786 to find out more. So I also have a special offer today for those of you that are watching. That the offer is basically a package of my training and coaching series, as well as a VA package, a starter pack, basically. 40 hours is about as much time you need to get a VA from launch to successful. And over those 40 hours, you'll work with me on a regular basis to be able to grow that VA from just somebody who's doing some simple things to you to your right hand, right? So that's the special offer that you see listed on the screen. That's it. That's all I have for today. Hopefully that helps you figure out how you start hiring a Rockstar VA. As you can see from what I talked about before, it's really more about you. To make a Rockstar VA, it has to come from you first, right? Hiring someone who can do some great stuff in your business is not that hard if you know where to look or how to find them, which I do. The hard thing is setting yourself up so that you're delegating what you should be delegating to them so they'll be successful, which will make you more successful. So I thank you for your time. Now go out and delegate something.